What's up everyone, my name is Maddie Kuma and today I'm starting with a different series of videos. It's a series focusing around hints, tips and guides to really get your splat on with particular weapons and or gear sets. And while this first guide is focused around the charge range, these tips can definitely be applied to any other weapon within the game. Now if you're anything like me, your experience on Splatoon has been a lot of fun, with the exception of those rounds where very specific weapons are always responsible for your demise. One weapon in particular for me is always the charger class. Whether it be an E-litre or a splatter scope, consider myself splattered. A big part of being a good Splatoon player is being able to play with a variety of weapons, or at the least having played with weapons enough to know the strengths and weaknesses of your enemies. So it was time for me to revisit the splatcharger and get down to business. Cue the Mulan music. So the first place to go is of course the training yard behind Ammo Knights. Sheldon can not only hook us up with the chargers, but also gives us the space to practice them before making the all-important purchase. Just like learning any weapon, use the space to explore the different chargers. There's currently about 13 chargers in total, including the Bamboozler and Squiffer range, all with their own stats, subs and specials. So choosing one to train with can take some time. With the more popular E-litre and splatcharger range, there's also the choice of whether to have a scope or no scope. Personally, the splatcharger range without the scope are my pick, and I change up what kit I use depending on which subs and specials I feel are appropriate for the current rotation of maps and modes. And while the scope provides a closer view and a little more range, I prefer to be able to see my surroundings. And I enjoy the fact that the aim mechanism stays the same as with any other weapon in the game, helping me with my accuracy for all weapons. Take your time to learn your weapon, try out its subs and specials, play around with different gear and abilities. I won't go into much detail on this as there are plenty of guides around, but adding damage up to your abilities can reduce the charge time needed to splat an inkling, so keep it in mind. Explore how many shots before its ink runs out, how long the special takes to charge, the best way to ink up walls to climb, and very importantly, take time to splat the dummies that are around. Try go quickly between hitting one to another. The training yard can also be a place to explore more advanced charger techniques, such as snapping. This is having your charger laser pointing in a different direction before snapping it towards the inkling you want to splat. I'll leave a link in the description below for a good video on this. Next off, if possible, head into a private battle with a friend or two. This is a step up from splatting dummies, giving you a chance to splat a moving target. Communicate with your friend and let them know exactly what you want them to do. You may want to practice splatting a shooting, running, swimming, or even a falling inkling, depending on what you think you need to improve on. Once you're feeling more confident in your abilities, you can even get them to play more aggressively, coming after you as you attempt to splat them first. Not only this, but private battles are a great way to explore different maps and modes and your ideal sniping spots for each. This is once again something you can find guides on, and I'll leave a link in the description. Now before we get into online battling, you may have noticed something a little bit different about my inkling. It's not my main account. While some people are against having an alternative account as they're called, it can provide a fair training ground when learning new weapons. My main account is level 50S rank, which is no problem when I'm using my 52 gal, splatter shot and otherwise, but I don't snipe at that level, or at least I didn't. Making a new account is definitely an optional step, but can help people out who are really struggling with the skill level difference. Just remember to keep things fair and only use the account for training with weapons, not using ones you're already confident in. So the private battles are all fun and good, but Turf Wars brings a new layer to things. Although you might have gotten pretty good at splatting your friend in a one-on-one situation, this is a 4 versus 4 situation, and they're probably all players that you've never seen before. That means they could be using different weapons and have different playstyles that you'll have to accommodate your own playstyle for. Have a go, see if you can snipe out a few unlucky foes. And if you feel like you haven't improved even a little after 10 rounds or so, head back to the training grounds and private battles. Also, while in online battles, I advise quitting out and rejoining a new lobby every so often to keep the players fresh and the challenge high. And while your level rises, so will the challenge. For those into the more competitive scene, rank mode is the next up. testing how you can use your charger to push forward or capture an objective, and pick off opposing Inklings as they attempt to head for the objective too. I personally found that playing ranked mode was what helped me improve the most, as there were always a central point or objective that the enemy would crowd around, letting me spot them a lot easier, rather than the spread out nature of a turf war. Tower control and splat zones in particular were good for the centralization of Inklings. Just remember, as a sniper you're vulnerable to close range attacks, so remember to keep an eye on your gamepad map every so often. Catching trails of enemy ink leading towards your location can help you avoid those sneaky flanking Inklings. And if you think you might be in danger of getting splat, don't be afraid of jumping back to spawn and finding your approach. Just remember, it takes a lot longer to respawn than it does to jump back to spawn. On my alternative account, I was able to climb from C- to A+, assuring me that I was at least doing my part as a sniper on a team and improving my skill. I went from averaging 0 splats on enemies in a round to averaging over 10 with minimal splats on myself, so hopefully you'll see some improvement too. The only other suggestion I have to offer is for those with the female Inkling amiibo. The challenges can offer some extra support with aiming and practicing with a charger, but I believe private battles and online modes are much more valuable, since you're up against real people with varying playstyles. I'll leave some links in the description below of some more advanced sniper guides that I mentioned earlier. My main tips are for getting your feet off the ground when starting with the charger, but these guides will really help you to advance your technique and become the best you can be. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if there's any particular weapon or gear guides you'd like to see me do, and I'll do my best to provide it for you. And hopefully with some practice you'll be hearing the sounds of victory much more often. Happy splatting everyone!